It's hard to believe how fast the years slip through our fingers. Some of us were just kids when Ghostbusters premiered in the summer of 1984. And now, in 2026, we are in our 40s, 50s, or 60s. I wish we could turn back the clock just for one evening. Back to that living room, that bowl of popcorn, those first thundering notes of Ray Parker Jr.'s theme song echoing through the house. Back to a time when the biggest question in the world was, who you gonna call? Today, let's step away from the noise of the modern world, honor the brilliant cast who shaped who we are, and see their beautiful journeys in 2026. Bringing absolute magic to our screens at number 1 is the irreplaceable Bill Murray. The man, the myth, the deadpan legend. When Ghostbusters hit theaters on June 8, 1984, Bill was 33 years old. Already a Saturday Night Live legend, already a force of nature. In 2026, he is a magnificent 75 years old, and he is aging with that signature effortless cool that only Bill Murray can carry. Peter Venkman wasn't just a wisecracking parapsychologist, he was permission. Permission to face the terrifying unknown with a raised eyebrow and a smirk. On the worst days of our adolescence, when everything felt too big and too scary, Venkman's unshakable composure whispered to us, "You don't have to be afraid. You can laugh at the monsters." He gave a whole generation the gift of courage wrapped in comedy. In 2026, Bill Murray continues to be one of cinema's most beloved souls, working selectively, living on his own terms, never chasing fame, just doing the work. He reprised Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters Afterlife in 2021 and Frozen Empire in 2024, reminding us all that some legends only deepen with time. At number 2, the irreplaceable soul of the story. Dan Aykroyd, the man who dreamed Ghostbusters into existence. Dan was just 31 years old when he brought Ray Stantz to life, the truest believer, the one who loved ghosts not out of cynicism, but out of pure, childlike wonder. In 2026, Dan is 73 years old, carrying every year with the warmth of a man who has never stopped believing in the magic of the impossible. Ray Stantz was the heart of the team. In a world that rewards cynicism, he dared to stay wide-eyed. He reminded every child watching that enthusiasm is never embarrassing, that it's actually the bravest thing you can be. How many of us, sitting cross-legged on the carpet, learned from Ray that it's okay to love something completely and without apology? Beyond acting, Dan Aykroyd has poured his enormous energy into entrepreneurship and philanthropy, including co-founding Crystal Head Vodka and supporting community causes. A Canadian-American treasure, he was honored as a member of the Order of Canada. Still creating, still dreaming, still that big-hearted believer from Benton Harbor, as magnificent as ever. At number 3, one of the most towering creative geniuses American comedy has ever known. Harold Ramis. Harold was 39 years old when he brought the brilliant, deadpan Dr. Egon Spengler to life, a man who co-wrote the film, co-created the entire universe we fell in love with, and then stepped in front of the camera and made us believe in every moment. Egon Spengler taught the quiet kids, the ones who loved science, who counted things, who observed more than they spoke, that they were not just acceptable, they were essential. Every misfit, every introvert, every child who felt too strange for the world found something like a reflection in Egon's calm, brilliant eyes. Harold left this world on February 24, 2014, at the age of 69, after a courageous battle with autoimmune inflammatory vasculitis. He was 39 when he gave us Ghostbusters. He may have left this world, but every time we press play, he comes back to life, wrapping us in the warmth of our childhood. His daughter Violet, his wife Erica, and his grandchildren carry his light forward. And so do we, every time we laugh. Next up at number 4, the man who proved that heart and humanity are the most powerful forces in any team. Our beloved Ernie Hudson. Ernie was 38 years old when he stepped into those coveralls as Winston Zeddemore. In 2026, this remarkable man is 80 years old. Still active, still luminous, still carrying decades of hard-won grace. Winston was not a scientist. He didn't come from Columbia University. He was the everyman, the one who just wanted a steady job and ended up saving New York City. For every kid who felt like they didn't have the right credentials, the right pedigree, the right background, Winston was proof that showing up, being good, and doing the work is more than enough. He was the Ghostbuster who felt most like us. Born in Benton Harbor, Michigan, Ernie Hudson is one of the most resilient stories in Hollywood. A man who built his career on pure talent, dedication, and the strength of a deeply held faith. He has appeared in over 200 film and television productions. He lit up the NBC drama Quantum Leap from 2022 to 2024. In June 2024, on the exact 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters, a portion of South Fair Avenue near his childhood home in Benton Harbor was officially renamed Ernie Hudson Way. What a tribute, what a legacy. At number 5, one of the most extraordinary actresses the world has ever produced. The luminous, the incomparable Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney was 34 years old when she played Dana Barrett, the cellist, the neighbor, the woman who opened the refrigerator and found a portal to another dimension, and somehow remained utterly believable throughout all of it. In 2026, she is a breathtaking 76 years old, aging beautifully, and carrying the years with such incredible grace. Dana Barrett was something rare on screen in 1984. A woman who was not merely a damsel, but a full person. Sharp, skeptical, funny, and ultimately powerful. She showed a generation of girls that you could be the love interest and the one who holds it together. She was the calm in the chaos. And Sigourney herself? She is a force of nature who simply refuses to slow down. In January 2026, she was announced as joining the cast of the Amazon Prime Video Tomb Raider series. She is also set to appear in The Mandalorian and Grogu in the Star Wars universe later in 2026. 3 Oscar nominations, 2 Golden Globes, a BAFTA, and still adding new chapters to an already extraordinary story. At number 6, one of the most quietly beloved figures in the history of comedy, the extraordinary Rick Moranis. Rick was just 30 years old when he became Louis Tully, the anxious, sweet, hopelessly earnest accountant next door who gets possessed by an ancient Sumerian deity and barely notices. In 2026, Rick is 72 years old. Louis Tully was the lovable outsider, too earnest, too eager, perpetually uncool, and absolutely wonderful for it. He gave every awkward kid watching permission to exist without apology. His fumbling kindness, his complete absence of irony, his genuine delight in small pleasures, all of it was a quiet, radical act of self-acceptance. And Rick Moranis himself gave us something even more beautiful off-screen. In 1991, after the passing of his beloved wife, Anne, Rick quietly stepped away from one of the most successful careers in Hollywood to raise his 2 children as a single father. He chose love over fame, presence over celebrity. Instead of chasing the Hollywood machine, he gracefully stepped away to pursue his most important calling as a devoted father, proving that real-world courage and love are the ultimate success. He has returned selectively in recent years, and the world simply lights up whenever he does. At number 7, the voice of every working woman who ever gave everything she had while being quietly overlooked, the irreplaceable Annie Potts. Annie was 31 years old when she crackled onto our screens as Janine Melnitz, the Ghostbusters' sharp-tongued, unflappable receptionist who was, let's be honest, running the entire operation. In 2026, Annie is a vibrant 73 years old, as fierce and funny and warm as she has always been. Janine was the woman in the room who actually knew what was happening. She was competent, dry, loyal, and gloriously unbothered by the chaos around her. For every kid who grew up watching a mother or grandmother quietly hold everything together while the men got the credit, Janine was seen. And so were they. Annie Potts has never stopped working, and she has never stopped shining. She wrapped up 7 beloved seasons as the fan-favorite Meemaw on Young Sheldon in 2024. She is currently appearing in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage and the series Best Medicine in 2026. She is also reprising her beloved voice role as Bo Peep in Toy Story 5, currently filming. A woman of extraordinary longevity and grace, carrying every year like the treasure it is. Next up at number 8, the man brave enough to be the villain we love to hate. The masterful William Atherton. William was 36 years old when he made Walter Peck, the EPA inspector, the bureaucratic buzzkill, the man who shut off the containment grid and unleashed chaos on New York City, one of the most memorably infuriating characters of the 1980s. In 2026, William is 78 years old, carrying his decades with remarkable elegance. Here is the thing about Walter Peck that no one talks about. He needed to exist. Every great story needs the obstacle, the doubter, the person who follows the rules when the rules were never made for the situation at hand. William Atherton played that role with such precision and commitment that he has been thanked, in his own way, by every Ghostbusters fan who has ever passionately argued about him. That is the art of a truly skilled actor. A Carnegie Mellon University graduate with roots deep in the American theater tradition, Tony-nominated productions, Broadway, David Rabe, Arthur Miller. William Atherton brought a classical foundation to every role he ever played. He also reprised Walter Peck in Ghostbusters, Afterlife, and Frozen Empire, proving the legend has never truly left. At number 9, a man whose gentle, reluctant authority gave us one of the most quietly human moments in the entire film. The beloved David Margulies. David was 46 years old when he played Mayor Lenny Klotch, the city official who wanted desperately not to believe in ghosts, and then, quietly and graciously, chose to trust the Ghostbusters anyway. There was a decency to Mayor Klotch that felt deeply real. Mayor Klotch showed us something we needed to see, a person in power choosing to listen, choosing to believe those who were dismissed, choosing the right thing over the comfortable thing. In a world that often rewards stubbornness, that quiet act of humility meant everything. David Margulies was born on February 19, 1937, a veteran of stage and screen with a career of extraordinary range. He left this world on January 11, 2016, at the age of 78. He may have left this world, but every time we press play, he comes back to life, wrapping us in the warmth of our childhood. At number 10, a presence so otherworldly, so electric, so utterly unforgettable that she haunted the dreams and fired the imaginations of an entire generation. The magnificent Slavica Jovan. Slavica was just 29 years old when she descended onto that rooftop as Gozer, the ancient Sumerian deity, the shape-shifting destroyer, the most stylishly terrifying villain of 1984. In 2026, she is 71 years old. Gozer did something that cinema rarely allowed a woman to do in that era: be genuinely, powerfully, undeniably dangerous. Not as a scream, not as a victim, not as a love interest in peril, but as the supreme force that 4 men with proton packs were genuinely afraid of. Slavica played that power with an arrogance and a timelessness that has never been replicated. Born in Yugoslavia, now Serbia, Slavica Jovan moved to Los Angeles as a young model and transformed herself into one of cinema's most indelible presences. Her time on screen in Ghostbusters was measured in minutes, but its impact has lasted decades. She lives in Los Angeles and remains a beloved figure among fans of the film, a keeper of one of cinema's most iconic mysteries. At number 11, the woman who set the entire story in motion. The irreplaceable, the quietly magnificent Alice Drummond. Alice was 55 years old when she stepped into that basement of the New York Public Library and gave us the very first ghost encounter in Ghostbusters, and with it, the first real shiver of the film. Her terrified face, her whispered, "shh," It was the small human moment that made the whole supernatural world feel real. She gave us permission to be afraid, and then, a moment later, to laugh at our fear. In a film of enormous spectacle, her quiet, grounded performance was the anchor that made everything else soar. Alice Drummond was born on May 21, 1928, in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. A graduate of Brown University, a Tony Award-nominated stage actress, a woman who gave decades of her life to theater and screen. She left this world on November 30, 2016, at the age of 88. She may have left this world, but every time we press play, she comes back to life, wrapping us in the warmth of our childhood. Her talent was, and always will be, a treasure. And at number 12, the unsung moment of pure cinema, the wonderful Timothy Carhart. Tim was 30 years old when he appeared as the hotel violinist in the Sedgwick Hotel Ballroom, the slimed, bewildered musician who became one of the film's most delightfully absurd images. That moment of ghostly chaos, wrapped in formal evening attire, is burned into the memory of everyone who has ever loved this film. There is something deeply important about the small roles, about the actors who step in for one unforgettable scene and become, without warning, a permanent part of the story. Timothy Carhart brought that moment fully to life. It is never just a bit part when it stays with you for 40 years. Born on December 24, 1953, in Washington, D.C., Tim Carhart had a childhood that stretched across Turkey and France before he returned to the United States to study theater and build a career that would include Thelma and Louise, The Hunt for Red October, Air Force One, and memorable work on CSI and The X-Files. In 2026, he is 72 years old, carrying his years with a quiet, gracious dignity. He is still out there for his fans, still warm, still grateful, still the violinist at the heart of the story. And there they are, 12 souls who gave us something that no algorithm can manufacture, and no remake can truly replace. They gave us Ghostbusters. They gave us 1984. They gave us ourselves, a little bit, on that couch, in that living room, in that golden, unrepeatable time. We carry them with us. The ones who are still here, aging beautifully and creating still. The ones who have left, Harold, David, Alice, who live on every time someone presses play and hears that theme song begin. Before you go, I want to leave you with 2 questions, and I genuinely want your answers in the comments below. This is your space. This is a museum of memory, and every comment is a piece of it. Time for a confession. Which cast member was your absolute biggest childhood crush growing up? Don't be shy. Let's give them their flowers in the comments. And the one that might make you reach for a tissue. If you could go back in time to the exact living room where you first watched Ghostbusters, who would be sitting next to you on that couch? A parent, a sibling, a best friend who moved away. Honor your loved ones and share those golden memories below. Subscribe to keep our beautiful childhood alive.